Ever watched a chef create magic in the kitchen without looking at a recipe? Cooking by feel is an art. The one that allows you to 1. Experiment, 2. Trust your instincts, and 3. Truly enjoy the process. Forget the measuring spoons, and let's explore how you can craft flavorful dishes just by tuning into your senses and understanding some basic principles. Cooking without a recipe isn't about guessing. It's about learning the foundations of flavor, texture, and technique. Once you understand the basics, you can transform raw ingredients into something special, all while letting your creativity and intuition lead the way. The key principles list to follow are: Number 1. Understand the 5 flavors. Every dish, no matter how complex, is built on 5 main flavors: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. A balanced dish will have the right combination of these, and learning to adjust these flavors is key. According to the Culinary Institute of America, understanding how these flavors interact is the foundation of good cooking. For example, if your dish is too salty, a touch of sweetness or acidity can help balance it out. Number 2. Learn to trust your senses. Cooking by feel is all about engaging your senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and even sound. Use your eyes to judge the color and texture, smell the aromas developing, and taste throughout to adjust as you go. A study published in Appetite found that mindful cooking, being fully present and using all your senses, can enhance not only the flavor of the food, but also the overall cooking experience, making it more enjoyable and intuitive. Let's talk about seasoning, the key to cooking by feel. When you learn to use herbs, spices, and the pantry staples of your trade to build your flavor profile, you can create complex, delicious dishes without needing a recipe. Seasoning tips: salt wisely. Layer it in. Salt isn't just about making the food salty. It enhances all of those other flavors, so take that little pinch and grow. Season everything you could be cooking, whether it's the meat or the veggies or the grains, during the cooking process to layer flavors inside out. In an article entitled "Timing Matters," early salting draws out moisture, ideal for roasts, whereas salting near the end of preparation time keeps flavors fresh, said Journal of Food Science. Now let's talk about the herbs and spices. Here you will know when to use fresh versus dry. Fresh herbs, such as basil, cilantro, and parsley, bring brightness and are best when added at the end of cooking. Dried herbs like oregano and thyme pack more intensity and are best added early on to develop depth. Here are the pro tips. Number 1. Rub dried herbs in between your hands before adding. This releases the essential oils, which basically means smells are like tricks to flavor. Balance with acids and fats. Think of acids, anything from lemon juice and vinegar to tomatoes, as flavor elevators. Acids brighten dishes and balance richness and fattiness. Meanwhile, fats, oils, butters, creams provide smoothness and depth, rounding off sharp flavors and enriching overall flavors. As any cooking expert will tell you, it's a splash of acid or a pat of fat that makes or breaks a dish. Acid brightens, fat smooths. It's all about knowing which and when. Number 4. Cooking techniques. Master the methods, not the measurements. Technique is more important than measurements. If you understand how to sauté, roast, simmer, or grill, then you're well on your way to cooking up dishes that are flavorful, well-balanced, and perfectly cooked. Key approaches to master. Sautéing, an art to flavor development. Sautéing is about the use of high heat in a very short time with the use of oil or butter. It's good for veggies, proteins, and aromatics such as garlic and onion. Listen for that sizzle in the pan. It means you're building flavor. Simmering and braising. Let it low and slow. Other examples of foods that involve simmering are soup, braised meats, and stews. Let low levels of heat have their way and also allow time to intervene. In that manner, you achieve complex flavors and really tender textures with deeper tastes. Culinary insight. Chef's secret. Stir with a wooden spoon. Metal may get too hot and alter the flavor of sensitive dishes. Roasting, browning, and crispiness. Roasting amplifies flavors through the caramelization of natural sugars in food. Think roasted veggies, crispy potatoes, and juicy meats. High heat is your friend. Aim for 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius or higher for perfect roast results. Number 5. Intuition and improvisation. Cook with what you have. Cooking by feel is showing resourcefulness. Don't freak out if you don't have an ingredient. Improvise. If a recipe calls for kale, use spinach. If it calls for lime, use lemon. Trust yourself enough to make substitutions and be surprised sometimes by how a new favorite can come out of it. Improvisation tips. What's fresh and seasonal? Seasonal ingredients always have the best flavor. Go to your farmer's market and then create dishes with whatever is available. It is nature's way of guiding your cooking. Master flavor pairings. Some flavors are just naturally paired up. Think tomatoes and basil, lemon and garlic, or cumin and coriander. Once you know what those flavor pairs are, it's really easy to construct a dish without a recipe. Number 6. Finishing touches. Elevate with garnishes and toppings. Never underestimate the power of finishing touches. Adding fresh herbs, sprinkles of salt, or just a simple drizzle of oil can add great flavor and appeal. Finishing touches. Freshness with herbs and citrus. Stud with parsley, cilantro, or basil to add freshness. A squeeze of lemon juice right before serving is a brightener for most dishes. Textures matter. Add crunch and cream. Sprinkle croutons on top of soups, toasted nuts over stews, or breadcrumbs over pasta for crunch. For creaminess, add a dollop of yogurt, sour cream, or drizzle tahini. Number 7. Learn to love the imperfection. It's not about perfection, it's about passion. Flying by the seat of one's pants in cooking has everything to do with having fun, being inquisitive, and accepting that things aren't perfect. Mistakes happen. All those lead to learning, experimenting, and creating dishes that are yours alone. Final encouragement. So pull out all those ingredients, believe in your senses, and cook from your heart. With no recipe cooking, you're not just making a meal but a whole experience.